Jai Jinendra, Namaste and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to solve the 77th question of the problem solving series and the second question of the topic linked list. The difficulty level for this question is easy and this question has been asked in Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle and many other companies. Reverse the linked list. So we are given a linked list and we need to reverse it. By reverse I mean that these nodes are there. Here the 1 is pointing to 2, 2 is pointing to 3, 3 is pointing to 4, 4 is pointing to 5. So after reversing, it would be like this. 5 will point to 4, 4 would point to 3, 3 would point to 2, 2 would point to 1 and the node will start from 5. The link which is there, this will get reversed. Okay, here 4 is pointing to 5. From 4 we can move to 5 by going to 4 ka next. But from 5 we can't move to 4, right? You know linked list. What is linked list? So here we need to reverse this pointer. Okay, that is the question that is given here in this one. So 2 from 2 will be able to move from 1 and it will start from 2. And you know that the end is always null. Okay, so here if 5 is pointing to null, here 2 is pointing to null. Here in this one, 1 would be pointing to null. We are just reversing it, right? So how we'll solve it? So how to do it? Like we can, like if we make ones, so we want 4 to be pointing to 3. So if we directly, when we are in 4, so instead of giving 4's, like say A is the name of the linked list and we are here. So A's next is this one, right? So we need to move A's next to this one. But how we will go to this one? Because we are here, right? We can move forward only. We can't move here. So we have to take multiple linked list, right? So head is there, so we have to assign some other thing. Like so, this is previous one. So we have to name it we have to give some other name, and we have to maintain this position so that we can move to previous, right? The previous node, okay, the current node and the next node, okay, because we need to reverse it. So there is a way which we'll do. So first you know that this 5 is pointing to null. So in the beginning this head is 1, right, in this example. So this has to be this has to point to null. So if we assign head next to null, then how we will move here, right? We can't move here. So if I assign heads next to null, because this is null, we have to be present here. So one pointer we can have as null as previous. We are maintaining this. Previous we will assign as null. And then this pointer, say name of the pointer is PTR, which is this one. And let's assign next. So PTR is equal to PTR next, then we go here. So next is equal to, if next, we name a pointer as next and we make it as PTR's next. So we are here now. So we are in, we have a pointer which is at null, which is at 1, which is at 2. Now what we want this, it's next. Next is a pointer right here. So this list nodes PTR next to be pointing to null, right? So if we make this point to null and we want this next to be pointing to this one, okay? So first currently PTR is pointing to 2, so we will change this pointer and we will make this point to null. Before doing this, we have to have this next pointer which is pointing to 2, so that when we go to next we can assign the 2's 3, we'll assign it to this one. Okay, then again we will move our previous here, PTR here and next here. We will repeat the same thing. We will make 2's point to previous, next point to PTR, and then we will make PTR equal to next. Then when PTR becomes next, previous will be this one, PTR will be pointing, 3 will be pointing to 2, 4 will be pointing to 3, and then again we will move ahead. PTR will be this, and next will be this, and previous will be this. So PTR will be pointing to previous, 4 will be pointing to 3, 5 will be pointing to 4, and then PTR will be pointing to this one. Now here 5 it is there, so 5 is pointing to 4 now, 4 is pointing to 3, 3 is pointing to 2, 2 is pointing to 1. And now when next, this next is actually null, right? We don't have anything here. So when this is null, that is our termination condition, right? So in this way, these three things, previous, PTR and next, anything you can name, will have 3 pointers pointing, like the previous will be pointing to previous, PTR will be pointing to the current pointer where we are traversing, and next would be the just next of this. So if we maintain this and we change the order, we can actually reverse the linked list in order of n. Let's do it. So we will have list node strict prev equal to null. Okay, strict PTR, let's take it as head, and strict next also we take as head. Okay, both are pointing to head here. Okay, then while next not equal to null. Okay, while this next pointer which is at head now is not equal to null. So what we do, initially we are 1 at 1, right? So let's go at 2. So next we will be pointing to PTR next. Okay, here. So here this is PTR, this is next, and this is previous, which is actually null. Okay, so next we moved at 2. Okay, next has been moved to 2 here with this one. Now next is 2, PTR is 1, and previous is null. Okay, so next is PTR equal to next, right? Now what we do, we will make this one point to PTR next is equal to next is equal to PTR next. Now instead of doing this one first, we will make this one. 1 is pointing to 2, right? So first we will make this one point to this one only. Okay, instead of, if we make this one point to this, then we have to, if this one is pointing to this, we can't move it here, right? So first we will do this part, left part. Okay, so next is equal to PTR next, we got here 1, this is 1, this is previous. Okay, so then PTR next, once next is 2, right? So we will make once next as previous. So PTR next would be previous. In this case, previous is null. Okay, then what we do, we move this previous is equal to PTR because when now we will, this is done. Okay, this is pointed to here, we update the previous value to this one so that PTR can go here. Previous is equal to PTR, PTR equal to next. Okay, so here if we dry run for this, so see, I'll explain it here for this example 1, 2, 1. Okay, so in the beginning, previous is null, okay, which is previous, and this is PTR, and this is next. Okay, so while next not equal to null, next is equal to PTR next, next moves here, and then PTR next is equal to previous. That means this PTR, this link which was pointing to 2, this is pointing to null. So 1 is pointing to null. Okay, now previous is equal to PTR, so this becomes previous now, and then PTR becomes next. So after the first round, what happens, if you see that in this 1 and 2, this is previous, this is PTR, and this is next. Okay, but next is not equal to null, so next becomes PTR's next. And what is PTR's next? PTR's next is null, so next becomes null now. Okay, and then PTR next is equal to previous. So here this one was like this, but this one was pointing to null, right? Now this is pointing to null, PTR next is equal to previous. So PTR next was pointing to null, now this will point to previous. So this node will change here. Okay, so earlier in the beginning 1, 2, this was pointing to null, this got changed. this was like this only. Now this got changed here. Okay, 2 is pointing to previous, which is 1, and previous PTR next is previous, and previous is equal to PTR. So previous we have moved over here again. Okay, and then PTR is equal to next. So PTR has become next, which is null. So this gets terminated, and previous is at 2. So we return to 1, and this was pointing to null. So this is what we are returning. Okay, this 2, 1. I hope the explanation is clear. You have understood this. The link to the question is given in the description. Now please try it yourself and then come to my code walkthrough section. The time complexity is order of n and the space complexity is order of 1. Here is the code walkthrough of the 77th question. Reverse linked list in the lead code platform. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is reversed to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2 is reversed to 2, 1. Same example. This and the same code. Okay, there is no change. So I'll not be going through this code walkthrough. I'll be directly submitting this. So it has been accepted, and see you also in the next video where I'll be explaining the 77th question of the problem solving series. Yeah, and the companies in which this question has been asked are all this. Okay, it has been recently asked in all these companies. This is a very basic question and you need to remember this logic. Okay, Jai Jinendra.